Hey, what is up, guys? We're live on the internet, on the net. Guys, we got a lot to talk about today. Of course, you probably noticed how much of a lame scam market crypto has been recently. Think about it yesterday. Bitcoin down 7%, Ethan sold down 10%, stocks up. You can't make it up, guys. It's been a wild time. We got a lot to talk about. We got stock news. We got crypto charts, all the latest. We got a lot to get into. So better start hitting it, guys. By the way, of course, answer your question second half stream. We'll be answering some throughout the video as well. You know, guys, come on. You actually think Bitcoin's going to $200,000? $1 million, actually. Yes, of course. Only a matter of time. The medieval 30-year-old. He has sired 4 children, overcome cholera, and fought in 3 wars. The modern 30-year-old should go along on Bitcoin now. Classic. Classic. Are you winning, son? Not today, Dad. Not today. Is this a top signal for stocks? I don't know. Top Gun traders, stock bets, and crypto culture take over the military. U.S. troops become Top Gun traders, swapping investment tips from cockpits and the decks of aircraft carriers and making fortunes. Is this the equivalent of the everybody's getting hilariously rich and you're not? Was it New York Magazine or New York Times or something like that? Cover page from late 2017 around crypto. Problematic. Problematic for stocks. Cryptos are. Don't worry, crypto's already gone down, man. It's fine. Can't be a top signal for crypto. ISM PMI. I know what you guys are thinking. Lark, what is up with the U.S. ISM PMI for manufacturing? Okay, I know. Look, United States ISM manufacturing PMI for November. Down again. Fuck. Previously it was 48.7. The expectation was that I was going to be 49. Came in at 48.2. The business cycle remains in contraction and stubbornly is not expanding. Okay. And what's crazy, this is the longest contraction for the business cycle in history. Wild stuff, man. The Federal Reserve to cut interest rates next week, according to Bank of America. Prediction market odds on like Kalshi and Polymarket put around 85 to 90% at this point. So we're getting the rate cuts, guys. We're getting another rate cut. Jerome's going to do the thing next week. It'll be the most important Fed meeting of your life since the last one. Okay. Josh Phillip here. The Fed just injected $13.5 billion into the banking system via overnight repos. Second largest liquidity boost since the Corona beer crisis. Very interesting. Cracks are appearing in the financial system. It's a lot of money. A lot of money. I'm old enough to remember the last time they bailed out the repo markets. Yeah, those are crazy times. Anyway, a lot of volatility around a lot of fear that brought up. Kyle Dupes, after 3.5 years, Federal Reserve officially ended quantitative tightening. On the same day, they quietly injected $13.5 billion into the banking system with overnight repos, largest move in months. Ending quantitative tightening isn't automatically bullish or bearish. It simply makes a shift. Liquidity management is active again. The Fed is back in the background adjusting additions. What matters now is simple. Was today a one-off tweak or the start of a new liquidity pattern? And of course, we have a new Fed chair coming. It's very interesting. Basically, everybody thinks that it's going to be this Hassett guy, okay? Sources, including Scott Bessent, say Trump has made his Fed chair pick with a strong chance of a reveal before Christmas. Trump confirmed on Air Force One that the announcement is coming soon, possibly as soon as today or tomorrow, okay? The odds are showing 75% for Hassett, okay? He would be super dovish, okay? Just so you understand, super dovish Fed. This dude's got to bring rates down to 1%, and he used to sit on the board at Coinbase. Dude knows Bitcoin, okay? We're going to get a Fed chair. It's literally a Bitcoiner, and it wants to cut rates to 1%. Okay, look at that. S&P 500 futures, of course, are pumping again. Welcome to your new pump market for the day for stocks. Let's go. Crypto, of course, remains mega lame. S&P 500 closed right under this trend line yesterday after trying to peak above it the day before. Current projections for futures markets, 68.45. put us right back above the downtrend line here. So we'll see how the market turns out today. Res DGEM posted this. Returns since April bottom. Terra flows. Bitcoin 10%. The S&P 500 37% with a fraction of BTC volatility. This has been a crazy, crazy cycle, man, because we have had everything outperform us, basically. Bitcoin has been outperformed by silver, by gold, by the NASDAQ, by the S&P 500. If we'd all just bought NVIDIA in November or December of 2022, we'd be up 16x on our money instead of 6x on our Bitcoin bets. Very interesting, isn't it? Crazy market. Performance in 2025, this is year to year. Gold's up 60%, while Bitcoin is down 10%. It is the end of times for crypto. No, like I said yesterday, guys, if this was really the end of the cycle, and this is the best we could do, I think there's an existential crisis brewing for crypto, because if we can't even outperform fucking gold or the index funds, what is the point? What's the point in taking all the risk here? We come to crypto for the risk and the outperformance, right? The risk is the price we pay for the outperformance. Instead, we just get risk and underperformance. It's good times. Good times, guys. Crypto has less upside than stocks, the more downside. Cursed asset class, says Pixel. Look at this. Hey, shout out to all the Google holders. Google just posted its 4th consecutive month of 10% plus returns. Now a $4 trillion company, probably going to be the biggest company in a few days in the world if it keeps up this kind of pace. That's crazy, man. Can't believe Warren Buffett top blasted that at 280 and it's up another $37 since that time. Do not fade Warren Buffett. Holy shit. It's crazy. AMD, we're going to have a quick look at some charts here. AMD is looking very interesting right now. It might be time to add some more of that position personally. We'll let you know. Anyway, of course, it had a nice run up here, come back down, largely filled this big gap here, not completely though. If we get rejected here at the 50 and 20-day EMAs, I would not be shocked to see it come back down to the 200, which is where previous price support approximately is. But also we have the MACD potentially changing trend here. AMD, man, it's a 10-year hold. It's a 10-year hold. I think it's going to be a massive player here. Qualcomm, stuff like that as well. Like, really, you're going to fucking buy NVIDIA for a $4.5–5 trillion market cap, but you're not going to take a bet on AMD or Qualcomm or something like that for a fraction, 1/25 of the price. Someday, that's why I'm buying these personally. Clean Spark. Now, a lot of these Bitcoin miner plays, man, these Bitcoin miners changed into AI data centers. These things got slaughtered, man. Unbelievable. These look like altcoins, actually. Look at this. From the peak on the 15th of October at $24, it actually speed ran all the way back down to $9, a 62% drop in a month. Wild. Currently getting rejected at this downtrend line in terms of trade. Breakout from there goes higher. I did buy some more around 10 or 12 bucks the other day, something like that. So I have added to my position, still underwater, of course, but I think some of these Bitcoin miners / AI data center plays, I think going to be pretty good moving forward. They've been very popular so far. And look, I guess if I'm wrong on that stock pick, then I'm not betting the farm on this. Something like Qualcomm or AMD, I'm willing to put much more money into. Something like Tesla or whatever, I'm put much more money into, right? Yes, David, nothing was right about this whole year, which means the business cycle is just beginning. The business cycle is just beginning. The bear market is just the most controversial take you will hear in crypto right now is not that a new major bear market's about to begin. Look at altcoins. They've already had a major bear market, okay? The most controversial take you're going to hear is that the bear market's actually ending. The Ethereum, Solana, XRP, Bitcoin rallies here are basically bear market rallies. They didn't really have any strength behind them. Altcoins got slaughtered nonstop all year. The business cycle has been dead for 3 years straight. The longest contraction ever for the business cycle in recorded fucking history, okay? It's going to break out. When it breaks out, that's when things are really exciting. We got 1% interest rates coming next year and Hassett gets in. QT's ending. I mean, it's all lining up for probably the mega bear recession. The greatest reckoning of our lives will be in 2026 when it's down only literally forever and everything will be bad and terrible. Or not. That's the bear take anyway. Qualcomm here looking pretty interesting as well. Now, I bought some Qualcomm around what I thought would be a decent level. And then I thought it'd be a decent level again. Well, apparently it was too quick on that move. But anyway, Anyway, you want to see it break out of the EMAs here. Okay, now we do have MACD trending towards a bullish crossover, which could add a bit of momentum here on a move higher, especially if stocks more broadly continue to rally through December. So we'll see how that plays out. If it's going to get rejected anywhere, it's going to get rejected right here on the underside retest, the 20 and 50-day EMAs, which means we get better buying prices moving forward. Okay, that's what you want to look for. Very interesting though. Have a look at this here. Approximately, gosh, doesn't really line up perfectly anywhere, does it? So close though. Maybe just exclude the wicks. There you go. Not too bad actually. Not too bad. The uptrend is still intact. Okay. Now, continuing. There has been a lot of FUD on the timeline about MicroStrategy in the last few days. Literally, people call MicroStrategy a Ponzi scheme, and it's going to zero, and Sailor's an idiot, and blah blah blah. I mean, the price is down a lot. The Wolf of Wall Street's come in with some rationality. Said there's a fever pitch of going to zero narratives, very reminiscent of when Musk smoked weed on Rogan. Everyone said Tesla was dead, or when GBTC hit 50% discount, people thought that meant it was going to zero. You buy when the FUD becomes utterly irrational. Yes. I'm not buying MicroStrategy here. I feel like I've got enough digital asset treasury company exposure with my Bitmine position. But man, you can't argue with this chart. Look at this chart, man. This is a wildly oversold chart. Look at this thing. The RSI got down to 23. It's been oversold for 2.5, 3 weeks now. It's pretty wild. Okay. The charts look absolutely wrecked beyond belief. But here is the silver lining. If you are a MicroStrategy bull, or you think that MicroStrategy is going to outperform Bitcoin from here to whenever Bitcoin goes up to do its next thing, check this out. This was the capitulation wick yesterday. That is a wild wick to the upside with a wild amount of volume. That volume, by the way, just to give you reference here, okay, we have not seen that kind of volume come in for a very, very long time. In fact, last time we had volume like that was late 2024. Somebody bought the fucking dip on strategy, okay? Very interesting. If it can run back to previous highs or higher, let's even say just previous highs as an example. If it can run back to previous highs from its current price, we are looking at a 200% gain. The likelihood that Bitcoin is going to go from here to 80-some thousand. 200% gains from here is about $250,000 Bitcoin, just for reference. But anyway, perhaps there's a play there. I still do not have any trades open. I was thinking about opening a Solana trade yesterday, but I just kind of kept living my life, But I'll let you guys know. I'm waiting for the market symbol of strength. Try to take the 20-day EMAs, then we'll start opening up some trades again here. Other than that, I'm just spraying and praying, and that's not a great trading strategy. Guys, if you want to join me trading over on Bitunix, link down below. Okay, they have relaunched the offer. This has been so popular, guys. You guys love this one so much. We're running it for another month, okay? So, Bitunix, long the rips, short the dips, deep liquidity. They got the coins you want to trade, able to anyone, anywhere. That's you. That's you. Literally anyone, anywhere can trade on Bitunix. So, here's the deal. Check out these deposit bonuses. You put in $1,000, you get $200 back. 2,000, you get 400 back. And look at these whale bonuses. These whale bonuses are nuts, man. 20K, you get 2K back. 50K, you get 5K back. 100K, you get 10K back. These are insane deals. So, you want to start taking your trading seriously? Link down below, okay? Continuing. James Bull, the bull run is over. S&P 500 to new all-time highs. Gold to new all-time highs. M2 will keep increasing. More rate cuts coming. Tether's most over-collateralized bank with 110% collateralization. The collateralization requirement is literally 0% for every other bank. True. CME gap filled. MicroStrategy is zero selling risk until 2027. By the way, all the FUD around MicroStrategies, they're going to have to sell the bottom of the bear market and it's going to collapse. Well, they've actually just sold a bunch of stocks to give them literally 2 years of cash runway. Just FYI, so they can keep paying their dividends out. And even if they did have to sell any Bitcoin, their commitments for having to pay dividends would only equate into a tiny fraction of the Bitcoin they currently hold. Okay, just FYI. No top indicators hit. Death cross has always doubled the Bitcoin price in the 6 months following in the cycle. There was no euphoria. Altcoins extremely oversold. But they're saying the bull run is over. Okay, again, if the bull run is truly over and charts are not looking good, we are in a bear market right now. The question is whether this is sort of your garden variety mini bear market where we trade into the 50-week or the 200-day for a few weeks or something like that, and then we recover and go on to new highs, or if this is the big mama bear where everybody gets eaten in the village. Okay, we're gonna find out. This is insane. By the way, here's some insane news for you. Okay, Vanguard, the second biggest asset manager in the world with around $8 or $9 trillion in assets, just behind BlackRock, will begin offering clients access to cryptocurrency ETFs and funds starting tomorrow, which is hilarious because back in 2024, when these ETFs products started launching, Vanguard's like, well, we're not going to ever launch ETFs. Never ETFs. They fired that CEO. And I remember we talked about when that CEO got fired. They fired his ass. Next guy came in and like, oh, we're doing crypto ETFs, man. We got to do it. BlackRock's making too much money. Adam Livingston here saying this is one of the biggest Bitcoin milestones ever recorded. Vanguard controls the deepest pools of long-term capital. Vanguard sets fiduciary norms for advisors. Vanguard inclusion unlocks 401k flows. Vanguard normalizes Bitcoin in default portfolios. Vanguard accelerates benchmark-driven adoption. Vanguard creates supply-driven price repricing. Vanguard signals the end of institutional resistance. This is a structural transformation of Bitcoin's relationship to global capital markets. Bitcoin is entering the phase where price discovery is driven by long horizons, sticky institutional investors instead of retail speculation. This is the transition from early adopters to systemic integration. And it's irreversible. There you go. Very interesting. Now, how much Bitcoin exposure that institutions wanted has already been met by BlackRock and Fidelity? It's interesting. Probably a lot. Now, Vanguard controls, let's say 10 trillion in assets. Just round up here. Around 10 trillion in assets. Okay, assets under management. Now, if 1% of that money that they control comes into Bitcoin, it's $100 billion in inflows. If 0.1% comes in, that's $10 billion. There's not that big of amount of money, but you know, it's not bad. Danny, relax. It's literally the next tweet. I got you, man. I got you, Danny. Don't worry, buddy. I got you. But Vanguard is not opening the door just for Bitcoin. They're going to do Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Solana right out of the gate. Okay? Not bad. Okay? Not bad. That's a lot of potential money flowing into all these different altcoin products, man. So just, it's big news. It's big. Vanguard, man. We got Vanguard. And the Vanguard launched crypto ETFs for their $11 trillion in assets under management clients right at the start of the bear market. So they can just screw everybody. Yeah, buy Bitcoin at $8,000. We're going to send it down to 40K, you motherfuckers. Go Vanguard. Bitcoin just opened the doors to crypto. Bank of America, one of the largest banks in the U.S., near $2.9 trillion in assets under management, is now telling its wealth clients they can allocate up to 4% of their portfolios into crypto. That's crazy, man. Bank of America's in it too. Let's go. On-chain mind, the velocity RSI in the 3-day chart has just hit its lowest reading since the bottoms of the last 3 bear markets. It's one of the more reliable, widely tracked momentum exhaustion indicators, and is now flashing a level we've only seen at major cyclical resets. We can add this to the list of like 50 other indicators that said that the market is likely closer to a bottom than not. Okay? Continuing. Crypto bullet. The Bitfinex whales are not defeated yet. The Bitfinex whales are still adding to their long positions. Okay, again, these are some of the most well-funded, deep-pocketed whales in the world. They trade on Bitfinex. They're going long, and they've been going long, okay? Just FYI. Big Sky 69, I'm feeling pretty smug about buying it. MicroStrategy at 156. Let's effing go, man. That's awesome. You're up probably like 20 bucks or something already, I think. Dude, yeah. Screw JP Morgan. I completely agree. That's awesome, man. Good stuff. I hope it goes back to 500 for you. Psychedelic, there are now $15 billion in short liquidations, and that's only going up to $100,000. You think that the greedy market makers are not going to try to capture that liquidity? Of course they are. Nick from Coin Bureau posting this. Bitcoin's third weekly close below the 50-week EMA, but we managed to bounce off the 100-week EMA at 85K. This will be the first support. Below that, next level is 82K. By the way, it's also the cost basis for BlackRock Bitcoin ETF buyers. Here's a bit of bear case for you. Lexia posted this Bitcoin 1 month time frame, nearing wedge bearish. Try this again. Bitcoin 1 month time frame rising, nearing rise. Why can't I read this? Nearing rising wedge bearish breakout. When that happens, we fall to $40,000. Fascinating. Fascinating. Of course, Bitcoin monthly MACD crossover after such a big run up in particular is a worrying signal. Now, you can see right back here, maybe you can't see it, but it's there. We actually had monthly MACD bearish crossover back here too, which then quickly got reversed as economic conditions changed. Okay. Lark, teach us more about Intel and TSMC. I used to have so much Intel, had to sell for taxes. Anyway, probably still be underwater. I haven't looked at the charts much, but then we need to report on that for the newsletter. That'd be a good one. Anyway, Bitcoin currently here after what is this? What is this even on here for? Bitcoin, here we go. So decent volume yesterday on the sell-off. Current price around $87,000. Not much of interest until we get back over the 20-day EMA, which is around $92,000 right now. Okay, so that's what we really need to see happening, a $92,000 breakout move. Until then, we are in the downtrend. But here is your hopium. Okay, as long as the Americans don't wake up and just do their usual thing where they just sell everything and nuke the markets. But what if this is our first higher low? If so, then we look for a higher high here and potential trend shift. Get a bit ahead of ourselves here, but that's your hopium. Okay. Tom Lee will not stop buying Ethereum. He's bought 96,800 ETH in the past week, currently worth around $273 million. He still has $880 million to buy ETH with. Tom Lee will not be defeated. Ethereum very oversold. Okay, it's according to Mr. Crypto. We usually bounce back from this level. It's the stochastic down below. Will this time be different? Well, here's the thing. You can, as you can of course see here, you can have situations like in early 2025 where that stochastic can just go flat for a while before actually trending back upwards. And you can see here from the start, it went from $2,800 down to $1,400, a 50% price drop, while stochastic remained flat. So just FYI on that, okay? ETH charts look like Bitcoin charts, not much to report here. Still have that MACD that has broken out, but we need to see that not cross back over into a bearish crossover, which means the price needs to actually fucking do something over the next couple of days, ideally taking out the 20-day EMA around $3,000, okay? Ali Charts posted this since March 2023. The TD sequential has been highly accurate at catching Solana's trend shifts on the weekly chart. It's now flashing a buy signal on Solana. Good. Also, this trend line that's been going since 2023 is where the current price of Solana is. Sold at $127 right now. We did not make a new lower low yesterday, only a slightly higher low. Okay. Again, like all the other majors, we need to see some strength come in here and take out these 20-day EMAs before it's worth getting really excited about anything. And obviously, even for Bitcoin, think about we're still what? We have to go up to 100K just to get back to the 50-week EMA. It's a long way away, man. It's a long way away. Nick, why is crypto sentiment so poor? The answer in one chart. Of the top 183 altcoins, 94% have lost money. That is crazy. It's crazy stuff, man. Zcash, by the way. I know, I was saying this back here. Nobody, people don't want to listen. Things are, anyway, saying this back here. Potential double top coming in for Zcash. Momentum was falling off. Well, momentum has indeed fallen off. Price is now corrected about 50% from previous highs. So if you are a Zcash bull, good news is you've already speed run from the oversold RSI to almost, overbought RSI to almost oversold RSI in a very short time frame, basically about a month. Okay, so let's see how the price plays out moving forward. But as always happens in the market, okay, and let this be a lesson. As always happens in the market, there are quick runners, things that have quick rotations, and everybody gets all excited about. Everybody piles in and buys it. It's, Lark's the influencer. Clearest tells us he's given up. I have not given up. I'm still here making videos every day. Okay, I've clearly laid out my bull and bear theses here and the invalidation points and things to watch for and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so when these new paradigm of money moments pop up, when something goes up 1,000% a month, everybody thinks, fuck, this is great. I need to hop on the train. I need to get into this coin. It's going to be the next big thing. You have all the big influencers out there saying, well, this thing's going to $10,000. You got to get in now, blah, 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 blah. I mean, shit. Yeah, David, great point. If you get a 10x runner, sell half the damn thing, man. Come on. Nothing wrong taking the profits off the table. Now, I faded Zcash. It's like a dino coin. I should not have faded the Naval shill. But hey, fair play, Naval. Shilled it at 50, 60 bucks. It went up to 700. Gosh darn it. That's crazy. But also, as Mark Moss pointed out, there was potentially a coordinated marketing campaign, though nobody, of course, disclosed, going on that started back in around July or so. How pervasive that was, who was involved, we have no idea. Probably never will. It's privacy coins, guys. They hit it on the privacy blockchain. Anyway. $200 where the 200-day EMA is right now. If we get to oversold conditions, I can see the price going down there. If you are a Zcash bull, you got to see the 15, 20 days taken back out, like a lot of coins right now, okay? Okay. Aster, not much to report. Pump. It's not pumping and we're not having fun. Pengu. I think they took the penguin out and fed it to the polar bears. Actually, funny. Great question for you. Why do polar bears not eat penguins? Think about it. Okay. Continuing. Guys, we're not signed up to the newsletter yet. It's awesome. Link down below. Go check it out. Okay. Down you go. Okay. So, Roman, by the way, 108,000 a week read our newsletter. It's pretty awesome. We do stocks, we do crypto, prediction markets, degen plays, all the rest of it. Okay, so we got a lot of stuff on there that we don't even get time to cover on the YouTube channel. Anyway, yes, Celopera, of course. North Pole, South Pole. Actually won some money on a radio contest back in New Zealand one time. Local radio. Got like some free tickets to a concert. It's like $20 for the prizes. Don't get me wrong. But anyway. Okay, Roman. Okay. Lark. So don't know if you remember on the last live stream I talked about getting back into the market. Glad I didn't, because now I feel like I've won by getting out. Sometimes, honestly, just not being in can be really good for mental health. Here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with being in cash. Don't let anybody tell you whatever bullshit on the internet. Okay, cash is a position and you're allowed to be in cash. It's fine. It's fine. You can be in cash. You can wait. When you see the market has strength again, you can get back in. You can just come in and out of the market whenever you want. It's a crazy idea, I know. Anyway, Lark, you bring normality to this crazy space. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Penguins and polar bears, my favorite Mylene Collins song. I don't know who that is. I'll look it up later. Fart coin is the way. I feel the same way about Pengu at a penny that I did buying Dogecoin at a penny 5 years ago. Pengu's going to run at some point, isn't it? As soon as risk comes back into this market, man, I'll tell you. Cash sucks, at least buy a dividend-paying stock. Well, yes and no. That dividend-paying stock can still go down 20 or 30% or more in a market sell-off situation. Your cash will still be cash. Oh, I know there's inflation and whatever. You can put your money into bonds. You can put your money into something like SGov. SGov is BlackRock's 3-month U.S. Treasury bond thing. They just renew it all the time. So you're going to make like 3%. You don't have to, the fees are really low, et cetera, et cetera. So you can sit there and make money, be relatively safe, assuming that, you know, U.S. bonds don't go to shit. If that happens, everything's fucked anyway. So, you know, anyway. Lark, it's all about timing. Amen to that, man. Amen to that. Look at Zcash. Had a great run. And then it cools off. It happens. It's all good. Listen, I'm not doing it right. Maybe you're doing it wrong. I've made money here, and this is my first cycle. I'm not sure everybody's so messed up. I know it's altcoins, but I picked Solana. Solana, I mean, honestly, one of the most sold altcoins. And it's all. Here's the thing: it's all a question of when you got in. If you top blasted, you're in a rougher situation. If you've been holding some bags for a while, maybe you're not so stressed out, right? Lark looking for some advice on my AI16Z bag held on Kraken. They seem to be the only exchange that haven't offered the migration feature. What did you do to yours? Well, so I do not have any of that position currently. Okay, Shaw took my money again. Anyway, look, I don't know about the migration. I'm sure Kraken's going to have to do it at some point. I'm surprised they haven't yet. It's kind of lame. They haven't yet. Basically, every other exchange did, so it's pretty annoying that they haven't done that. I don't know. The AI16Z that I did have, I bought. So I sold mine ages ago. I bought some just before the rebrand. I was briefly 50% in profits and then sold for like, I don't know, 30, 40% loss or something like that. Week later, because that's how fun crypto is. Anyway, maybe I can make a raging comeback at some point. I don't know. That's on me. That's on me for buying Shaw's coin again. Those guys have not been the most beneficial players, let's say. Which coins do you think will stay in the top 10 and which ones will lose their position in the next bull cycle? That's a fascinating question. Let me have a look here. Okay, Bitcoin staying, Ethereum staying, Tether staying. Gosh. Let's put this here for you. Hold on a second. For some reason, XRP is going to stay, but gosh, it really doesn't deserve to. And I know XRP heads don't get angry at me, but just why is this worth $120 billion? Why was it worth almost $200 billion? I don't even get it. Anyway, XRP will probably stay because I guess, why not? We have nothing better to do. BNB, unless something happens, the Binance exchange is not going anywhere. USDC, obviously Solana. Yeah, Solana deserves to be over XRP. I don't know why. Solana's, in what universe is Solana worth less than XRP? Make it make sense, guys. Make it make sense. Tron, I feel like if anything's going to drop out of the top 10, it's going to have to be Tron. I'm blown away that Tron is still a top 10 coin, but people use it. People use it. That's the thing. Once you get out of the top 10, though, things start getting a lot dicier. What the hell is Figure Halak? Cardano, I mean, you guys know how I feel about that. Random exchange coin for Whitebit. Who the hell is using Whitebit? Why is it the 13th biggest coin in crypto? It makes no sense. No sense, man. Geez Louise. Anyway, look at this. $25 million trading volume, and it's a top 11 coin. Figure Halak. That sounds like some bullshit, man. I don't know why. What are these things? Same with Whitebit, $178 million. I mean, look at this. Cardano's got almost $1 billion in daily trading volume, right? Makes sense. Dogecoin's got 1.3 billion. You're going to tell me whatever this random exchange coin is deserves to be up here? Nah. No. Bitcoin Cash. Why is this still even relevant at all? I have no idea. Leo token. It's Bitfinex exchange token. I don't know. Just inflated values. I feel like half the stuff should be taken off here. All these random stable coins and wrapped tokens and all that kind of stuff. Stellar, does not deserve to be in the top 50 probably. But anyway, there it is. Gosh, it's a Litecoin. Litecoin's $80, huh? Look at that. Avalanche has fallen so hard, man, all the way down to number 30. It's crazy. Shiba Inu's, wow, nature's finally healing. Shiba Inu deserves to be out of the top 100. I have no idea why it's in the top 100 still. It's absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion. Gosh, so many stable coins here now. It's wild, eh? Polkadot, gosh, this thing's failed so hard, so bad. Again, deserves to not be in the top 100. There's almost no users. Nobody's doing anything on this chain. It's an absolute mess. Mantle deserves to be higher, in my opinion. That's the Bybit exchange. Like, why? No, seriously, Whitebit. You're going to tell me Whitebit's worth more than Mantle? That's mispricing in the market. Canton's new, needs to prove itself. We'll see how it plays out. Aave should be higher, in my opinion. A lot of just BlackRock institutional dollar funds. Amazing how much the top 100 is made up of just stable coins, wrapped tokens, and stuff like the BlackRock Biddle Fund. or exchange tokens. It's actually, the top 100 looks really weird now. Ethereum Classic, can you please get out of the top 100? It's a disgrace that you're in the top 100. It's absolutely ridiculous. Rain, I have no idea what the heck that is. Athena's been struggling, man. I think they got a big canyon they need to hop here to get their APY back up, to get money back on the chain. They never recovered from the 1010 crash. Pump fund deserves to be way higher. Gosh, look at some of the absolute dog shit over with bigger market caps than Pump Fund. That's ridiculous. Wrapped. Ondo should be higher. Quant, I don't know. Caspa, I don't know. Probably. I know they're popular among certain communities, but I don't see why those need to be top 100 coins personally. Aptos, man, that thing got slaughtered. These VC coins, Aptos, Sui. Sui's the one that got most adoption out of all of them by far. Aptos should have sold. What was I thinking? The second Mo left, I should have sold my coins. Didn't do it. Round tripped a lot on that one. Anyway, look at this all wrapped coins. It's crazy. Trump coin. Oh my God. How is that not a zero yet? Of course, all it takes is Trump to do one tweet, man. That thing's gonna go like back up crazy. It's actually amazing how few coins there actually are. They're like actual coins that are on the top 100. Anyway. Yeah, dot. Shake my head indeed. What an absolute disappointment of a coin. Good morning from Chicago. Any words on XAI? What the heck is an XAI? Hold on a second. XAI. What is this? That's some small cap coin. It's a gaming coin. XAI was developed to enable real economies, video games, blah, blah, blah. Okay, gaming coins, nobody gives a shit about that right now in crypto. Maybe at some point in the distant future, in a full risk-on season, people will care about gaming coins again. Probably one of the worst possible niches to have money in right now, gaming. I lost a lot of money in gaming this cycle. I thought, yeah, gaming, such an obvious thing. Anyway. Stuck on Aptos. Uh-oh. Lark, what happens if Bitcoin goes below the price of mining it? Riot, CleanSpark, etc. Will they start turning off the machine? Some people will. Some people will mine at a loss for a short amount of time. But here's the thing, is that as machines get shut off, the hash rate goes down, which means it then becomes cheaper to mine Bitcoin again. So then the network self-corrects, but certainly if it goes below the price of mining, short term, you can see that some of these US listed equities in the mining space could get hit. Okay. But that's why that's why they're all branching out and doing AI right now. So it may not be as bad as you think. Bitcoin's kind of was their core business, but they got all these warehouses and energy and power supply set up. So now they're perfectly suited to do AI stuff. Will Link ever reach $45 again? If we get a risk on season, it's amazing how crazy 21 was and even 2017 and how this cycle's been just not really great. Well, we had like 2, 3, 4 weeks in late 2024 where some things kind of happened. Most things never didn't really do anything. Lark, what percentage you would bullish and bearish? So I'd say like 70-30. 70% because I have perhaps drunk the Kool-Aid of the macroeconomic situation. Let's put it that way. The business cycle and the rate cuts and all the stuff going on, right? It's very messy macro in terms of its short-term impact on prices. 30% because look at the charts. Monthly MACD bear cross, bad news, okay? Trading under the 50-week EMA, bad fucking news, okay? So until those things are recovered, we are in a bear market. Is it a short-term bear market? I think the macro may show that it is a short-term bear market, okay? And people get so triggered by the bear word. It's perhaps better to think about there are opportune times to sell and opportune times to buy, okay? Perhaps it's a better way to think of it. But right now we're in either the start of a much more prolonged bear market, which macro, there are things that could unwind the Japanese carry trade. the jobs market continue to weaken, sparking recession, et cetera, et cetera. Those things can happen, right? That's bad. But a lot of the macro is much more supportive of basically financial conditions are loosening and they're going to get looser. We talked about that at the start of the video, so I don't have to go over all that stuff. If it is the big mama bear and we are going to go down, then in that case, you're looking at Bitcoin going back $40,000 to $50,000, somewhere in that range, which is very, very far from here. Be pretty brutal if that happens. Lark, do you think someone can sustainably have trading as their only source of income? Maybe, but you probably don't want to. Put your back too much against the wall. You have to trade. You have to make money. Ideally, you're going to have enough money on the side for, you know, living expenses. You're going to have, I don't know, some money somewhere returning 10%, like in the S&P 500, right? So you've got money, okay? You've got money. And then you don't have to worry about it. Or you have a job. These crazy things called jobs, guys. You have yourself a job and, you know, you can just trade as a sort of fun pastime hobby. And if you make a shit ton of money trading, great. Take it and put it in things that'll make you passive income so then you can quit your job, have money, and still trade if you want to. But as it being the only source of your income, people do it. People do. Okay. If you have the mindset to be able to do that, see, I just trade passively. I'm just, you know, when I see an interesting breakout or something, that's fine. I'll play around. It's all good. But like, you know, if I had to make my money off of just trading, I'd be all stressed out all the time, man. It puts way too much pressure on you. Okay. You got to be here showing up every day. And I like just trading casually. Invest for the long term, trade casually on the side. It's fun. It's nice. It's a good way to do it, to not have the stress. I've got to make money with this, or my kids are going to go hungry this week. You know, you don't want to be in that situation, man. Thoughts on Midnight is launching next. That's Cardano's sidechain. Completely unnecessary, not needed. And I wish Charles would actually focus on Cardano, to be honest. I mean, sure, Midnight, privacy tag, hey, whatever, cool. But, you know, it would make more sense launching Midnight if like Cardano is already this wildly big, thriving ecosystem with, you know, millions of daily users and billions in stablecoin on chain and billions in daily DEX volume and perp DEX volume and NFT markets and thousands of applications and developers falling over themselves trying to build on Cardano. Okay, yeah, launch Midnight. Why do they don't need Midnight, man? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me personally. I'm sure Charles got his reasonings for it, but nobody's using Cardano. Why is anyone going to use Midnight? Okay, I know no one. I know it's not no one, guys. It's like 10,000 people a day or something like that, but it's not great, is it? Sue, is Tandem good for beginners? Tandem's a pretty good one. Tandem's cheap and effective and simple, right? I think you can get them for like 50, 60 bucks or something like that. I like TANGEM. I like what they do, and that's why we did some sponsorship stuff with them. I think my go-to is and will remain Ledger wallets. They're just, I don't know. They're a lot more expensive. Don't get me wrong. I think this is, I can't remember this. These are a few $100 each. They're a lot more expensive, okay, compared to TANGEM, which is just an NFC card, which is very cheap, right? You can buy 3 cards like $50 or $60 or something like that. I like ledgers. I like the screens. I like the devices, all that kind of stuff. They still have their Black Friday sale on, by the way, link down below. I think I got a link down there for TANGEM as well. So if you want to get one of those. Lark, so the 4-year cycle concept not relevant anymore. Well, Cyberpunch, we are right now in the middle of it being relevant or not. Okay, I think a lot of our sell pressures actually come from people who believe the cycle's over because 4 years have passed. The macro says a different story. Okay, rates are being cut, QT's ending, new Fed chairs coming, blah, blah, blah. I don't need to keep going over all these things you guys know. So will that actually see us have a 5-year cycle, for example, this time versus the 4-year cycle? The reason 4-year cycles have happened it's fascinating. Okay, let me tell you this. The reason 4-year cycles have happened is interestingly not magically because, well, the Bitcoin miners and stuff like it's been a great narrative, and I think the narrative really worked in the early days, and there has been some truth to the, you know, rising demand and all that kind of stuff. But realistically, isn't it so interesting that the Bitcoin price every 4-year cycle has basically exactly topped with the 4-year business cycle, and the peaks in the business cycle is when the price of Bitcoin peaks. Yeah. Fascinating, isn't it? Has it really had anything to do with Bitcoin this entire time, or is it just when the business cycle heats up, people take increasing risks? If that's the case, if you believe the business cycle, not the 4-year cycle related to the Bitcoin halvings, is the dominant factor here, then we have not had a breakout in the business cycle. The business cycle is still in contraction. It's the longest contraction period ever in the history of the business cycle since they started recording, since the 1940s or something anyway, I think. Maybe back in the 1930s and 20s was worse. But anyway, since the 1940s anyway, post-World War II period, it's the longest contraction, okay? Longest in our lives, put it that way. I know, okay, there's the one dude out here watching the videos like 95, like, not the longest of my life, Sonny. Everybody else, okay, anyway. It's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Perhaps a 4-year cycle theorist to right again, because if we really do tie up top on just the 4-year cycle this time, then we know nothing about cycle. There is no cycle. We know nothing about cycles because you're arguing essentially at this time is different. That's the crazy thing. If you are arguing about we are in a 4-year cycle right now, then you're literally arguing that this time is different because you're arguing that the business cycle is completely irrelevant. Okay, you're arguing that going into financial easing conditions is irrelevant. That rate cuts don't matter. That a new Fed chair bringing rates down 1% don't matter. The stock market's pumping don't matter, and all that kind of stuff. The basic argument is, well, a certain amount of time passed, therefore we simply must go down, which I understand. I understand. It has been what's happened 3 times before. Therefore, it must happen again. Maybe it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy and everybody just gives up on crypto. I mean, look at the stats we shared. Gold's up 60% the year to date. Bitcoin's down 10. SPX is up almost 40% since the tariff lows. Bitcoin's only up 10 or whatever. It's shocking and embarrassing to be in crypto right now. Look at these numbers, man. So we'll see. We'll see. We are in the proving ground right now. If we hit a new all-time high anywhere between now and mid-year next year, the 4-year cycle is disproven. Simple as that. If we go down to 50K BTC between now and without hitting new highs between now and sometime next year, the 4-year cycle theorists, for some unbelievable reason, win again. My job bonus let me put 5K in the market last week. Let's go, man. Nice. What are you guys talking about in here? Can you pull up the SUI chart? Oh, Tia. Gosh darn it. They really got us on that one, didn't they, guys? Hey, lock it up. You'll get some airdrops. I think I got like $5 in airdrops from fucking Celestia. Yeah, I think I bought 2,000 just to run an experiment. I think I bought $2,000 of the coins, sold them for like a 50% loss, and got like $5 in airdrops or some shit like that. Great tech. Great tech. SUI chart. SUI chart. It's kind of critique. Okay, here we go. Sway, guys. Come on. Sway. Okay, here we go. SUI is looking very interesting here. But unfortunately, it's not breaking trend with anything going on in the market right now. I think that's probably the simplest way to put it, okay? Man, look at that. That is wild. This is the MAC. I haven't actually looked at this. This is pretty crazy. This is the MACD, man. That is one hell of a downtrend. Wild. Unfortunately, the next MACD rally probably only gets it up to like here, unless it breaks out and then goes on to new highs. You need a really good risk-on situation for that. But man, MACD peaked out in 24 and just hasn't looked back since then. Look, short term, we have got a oversold reading here from a few days ago, 21, 22 November. We got prices all the way down to, gosh darn it, $1.30, huh? Hey, here's your hopium, okay? And you better hope bulls keep their shit together here, otherwise it's not very good hopium. But here you go. Short term, what are we potentially looking at? W pattern right here. Breakout point, $1.30 to about $1.60. It's not a big one. It's only about a 30-cent breakout. Okay, that's the target here. So 30 cents from here up to about $1.90. The good news about that potential for a breakout here would be you'd get above the 20-day EMA and at least get up to get rejected at the 50-day, which is a start. Okay, it's a start. So there you go. There's your hopium on your SUI charts. Otherwise, it's in a downtrend. As long as it's under the 20-day EMA, not good. Okay. Charles' interview with Lark coming soon. Maybe. Don't know. We talked on Twitter a little bit. I'm not sure it's going to happen or not. Be interesting to talk to him. But I'd like to ask him those tough questions. Like, Charles, Cardano's been live for 8 years, man. Where the fuck is everybody? Where are all the users? Why is nobody using your chain, man? Again, I like Cardano. I like Charles. I like their ideas. They have big ideas. Big ideas sometimes are hard to implement. So I dig it. Don't get me wrong. Okay, I'm not a Cardano hater. We had 50x on Cardano last cycle. It was fantastic. What's not to like about that? Remember the days of getting 50x's, guys, and not on, well, I was going to say not on meme coins, but then I got a 50x on beard coins. So, but we had more hope that Cardano was going to do something back then. Okay, smart contracts were coming and stuff, and then the users just never came. Anyway. Do you own Alphabet? No, I should though. Why I did not top last when Warren Buffett top lasted, I have no idea. Just if you see Warren Buffett top lasting something, you top last too. That's the life lesson there for you. Red light hat. I forgot about it. We're about to finish the stream. I'll put it on after, but you're right. Red light hat. If we do go down, this will be the lamest cycle ever. No altcoin season. That would be bad for a whole variety of reasons. Yeah. If this was the best we could do this cycle, I think crypto hits an existential crisis, because the best we could do this cycle was a bunch of overinflated BC chains that were just immediate exit scams and dropped 90%. A bunch of fucking meme coins. That was the best we could do. We didn't have any better ideas than just meme coins, pictures of dogs and cats that ran to billions of dollars. I mean, yeah, great fun. Speculate on that random shit, but we didn't really do anything good that was investable. Prediction markets, Kalshi, Poly Market, great. Can't buy tokens. There might never be a token. Private equity, you can buy that right now, and they'll probably do IPOs at some point in the future, and those will probably be interesting IPOs to get into based on numbers, of course, and stuff at the time. But yeah, you would have been better off being in basically anything in the stock market. Just buying the S&P 500 would have outperformed basically everything in crypto. But anyway, why do crypto influencers say retail hasn't been involved in the cycle? They are with ETFs. I think the key idea here is that retail has not come in to take speculations on the far end of the risk curve. That's, I think, really what they're talking about. Yes, retail has bought Bitcoin ETFs, Ethereum ETFs, and will continue to buy those products because they're safe and easy and great, But they have not come on chain in massive numbers. We did see a nice spike, I think, in retail participation in late 24, but it's very short-lived. They didn't stick around very long. They came in, sent XRP up 7x, sold, and left. Well played, retail. Well played. Where is the best and safest place to stake USDT for passive income? Yeah. Depends on how much risk you want to take. Safe would be take your money the fuck out of crypto and go buy bonds. It's probably not the answer you want. Okay, but it's true. That's safe. Where bonds giving you about 4% right now? That ain't bad. Because here's the thing. Let's say you go to Aave. Probably the same Aave or what is it? Sky. Used to be MakerDAO, Sky now. Those are probably the two safest DeFi protocols in all of crypto. Most battle tested, battle hardened, all that kind of stuff. They give you about 5% on USDT. The problem with that is DeFi gets hacked. And I'm not saying Sky or Aave are going to be hacked. I think they're great platforms. I, use them from time to time. Don't get me wrong. But I probably wouldn't put a bunch of USDT on there to try to earn money because the risk's just not worth it. You try to get 5% And those rates will, if we go into a bear market, those rates will drop. By the way, they'll go down to like 2 or 3% for a lot of this stuff. Those rates are not stable. They fluctuate quite a bit. It's around 5% right now. So you could lock in, you could buy bonds right now, lock in 4% for 2 years or 10 years or whatever, and sweet, great. Or you could risk losing literally everything in one DeFi exploit to maybe get 5%, probably 2 or 3% during a bear market. So that's your safest option, okay? Then we start going real fast down the risk curve, man. How much risk are you willing to take? You can take your stable coins and put them in something like Camino Finance or some of the other big perp dexes, perpetual swap exchanges, and earn a lot of money potentially, or lose all your money if they have bad debt and they take money out of your pocket in that situation. That's part of your risk you take as providing liquidity into the vaults. So there's that. There's some platforms where you can do USDC, USDT liquidity farming. Doesn't tend to pay super well, but you know, it is an option out there. So probably not the answer you want. Depends how much risk you want to take. Safe, there is absolutely nothing safe about putting money into anything in DeFi for quote unquote passive income in crypto. In the stock market, yeah, buy bonds. In crypto, pray. There you go. You guys are awesome. I appreciate your time today. We're going to come back tomorrow. We're going to do this again. Stay frosty. Stay positive. We'll be okay. All right. Peace. Bye.